Yeah, we back. Yeah, we back. Now, today's going to be a quick video. You know, I just want to respond to a fellow content creator in this space by the name of Shay Sharday. She actually responded and reacted to some videos that I put out last week, right? If you remember, I put out a couple videos last week, one of them being entitled Reformed Divestor with Biracial Children Searching for a Black King, and another one entitled Reformed Divestor Goes from Swirl Queen to Pro-Black Princess. And essentially in those videos, I was reacting to a couple women who were giving their testimony, you know, basically, you know, talking about how much they value and cherish and honor the black man, talking about how much they love the black man and how the black man should be with the black woman. And of course, when it comes to me, when it comes to my channel, you already know I have no issue with those sentiments. I feel the exact same way. My only issue with those women in particular was the fact that not only did they have an extensive history that they admitted to of dealing with non-black men of non-African heritage, but also they had biracial children. So now they're on the hunt for a black king after they already had biracial children. So my sentiments on my channel that I've expressed before is that when it comes to me, the recommendation that I give to the brothers is the same recommendation that I would give to myself. I only deal with black women who only deal with black men. Now, for some reason, whenever I make this statement, some women take it as a controversial statement. They get into my comment section and try to debate me on it and try to explain to me why it's different, right? When we lay up with the white man, it's different. I'm not trying to hear none of that, right? Brothers, I'm here to tell you right now, do not let anybody shame you. Because if you're a black man like myself and you only deal with black women who only deal with black men, don't let anybody shame you into believing that's a controversial position to hold or that's a crazy position to take. Don't let anybody shame you, right? Especially when the women themselves feel the exact same way that I do. For example, take a look up on the screen. This woman said, I only date black men who only date black women. Call it what you want, right? This woman said, my favorite brand of black men is the ones that do not believe in interracial dating. This woman said, it's called a preference. I prefer to only date black men who only date black women. This woman said, it is a three-way tie for me. Number one, black men with no kids. Number two, black men who only date black women. And number three, black men who make a similar amount of money to me. The only people who are ever mad are the ones who are not my preference, because I know plenty of black men easily fit here. Right? This woman said, call me what you want. I do not date black men that date or have sexual relations with white women. This woman said, I date men that only date black women. And at the bottom, she said, why are y'all so upset that I want to date a man that exclusively wants to date black women? This is my preference and not yours. F y'all, right? Now, keep in mind, these posts get thousands of likes. They go viral. You know, women in the comment section clapping and cheering and applauding because they agree with the sentiments. And listen, I don't shame them for that. I don't get into the comment section and try to debate them on it and try to get them to understand why it's okay to deal with the white women. I don't try to debate them. So, ladies, stop coming into my comment section and trying to debate me on this topic. I don't want to hear it. This is my preference. This is the preference of a lot of other black men. Let us have our preference. It is what it is, right? This lady said, I only date black men that only date black women because I think those are the real men, right? This lady said, I only date black men that only date black women. This lady said, I only date black men who only like black women. I need you to be prejudiced and discriminatory over here, right? And that post got 20,000 likes, right? Even I liked it, right? See, I don't get mad when the women say that. See, I like the post, and 20,000 other people also like the post. So as you can see, it's not a controversial statement to make. So brothers, do not let the women shame you. If you have the same exact preference or position, don't let them shame you, right? The only reason they want to shame you and debate you is because they feel personally attacked. They feel personally offended. And that's why they want to debate about it. I'm not trying to debate about my personal choices. Now, anyways, right? Now, to refresh your memory on the videos from last week, I'm going to play some clips, you know, starting with this one from the video, Reformed Divestor with Biracial Children Searching for a Black King, right? We're going to get into that one first. Then we're going to get into the clips from the second one, the other case study. And then we're going to get into the video from Shay Sharday. You know, shout out to Shay Sharday, content creator that I have a lot of respect for, that has always showed me love in this space, right? Shay Sharday, as you already know, beautiful black woman married to, a black man, right? So we're going to get the perspective of a black woman married to a black man. Right. So it's going to be very interesting. But anyway, let me refresh your memory from the videos from last week, starting with the first one from the first video. Now let's get into it. I'll be right back.
I've dated a white man. I married one. I have the experience. I'm done. Y'all are not gonna like this, but I'm saying it. Y'all can say I'm a hypocrite. Y'all can say you can't talk, blase, blase, blase. In this country, the way it is set up, okay, black men need to be with black women. If we lived in a perfect world where racism and Jim Crow laws and racism didn't exist, I wouldn't give a fuck. Because then love could be love. But at this, where we are right now, I know y'all gonna be like, oh, but Amber, I was lost in the sauce. I did not know no better. And I always take it. I always go, you know what, you're right. I did it wrong. I did not do what I am preaching to do right now. If you are dating exclusively white women, you need to go to therapy, okay? And unpack that self-hatred that you got. You have a low racial self-esteem. It should be an honor to be with a black woman. It should be a privilege to be with a black woman. It should be standard. It should be traditional to be with a black woman.
Now, I already gave my commentary, my thoughts and opinions and my views on those videos. Go check them out for my full reactions. Now, I want to jump into the other case study, the second case study from the other video entitled Reformed Divestor Goes from Swirl Queen to Pro-Black Princess. Right now, let's get into it.
I judged black men growing up. I was young, dumb, and stupid, right? From senior year of high school, until 3 years worth of college, I was, I was swirling. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I was definitely swirling, okay? And there was a part of me at one point in time where I thought, when you see me with a white man, you know that I'm that type of black girl. And I don't know what type of black girl that I was thinking in my head, but I was thinking obviously it meant something, right? But again, there was a very unhealed part of me that had to really, really, reprogram my mind and understand myself in another depth. The connection I have with white men can never equal the connection that I have with black men, right? Like it just will never equal. I don't know. There's just something that's just always going to be divided, right? And I feel like that's just me personally, how I look at it. There's just something magnetic between black men and black women when they are in union with each other. Like, you cannot match the chemistry, the energy, the passion between a black man and a black woman compared to a black woman and a white man. That's just my personal opinion. Something that I see a lot on social media, especially on this app, when it comes to black women speaking on their experience of dating white men and sharing their experience on this app, that they bash black men in the process. And this is even something that I used to do. And I had to learn from it and understand why I was doing that. And that's just through, trauma healing and therapy and all that good stuff. I've had more white men do me dirty than I've had black men. And I'll be the first to admit that. Now where I'm at in my season and through my own journey, I personally know that I do not want to date white men ever again. And I'm okay with that. And that's just me personally, right? I want a black man.
All right, we back. Now, this lady from the second case study, she also has biracial children, right? Remember back when I reacted to the video, I did not know, she had biracial children or not, but apparently, just like the first one, she also has biracial children. Take a look up on the screen. Somebody asked her in the comment section, did you have kids with this, non-African male species? And she said, I do. I have a son. And the person was like, oh, wow. But anyway, I want to get into Shay Shardae's video reaction. Yes, your boy Nefakari Desaline, we started a conversation. Yes, we started a conversation. So I want to get into Shay Shardae's video entitled, Can Black Swirlers Be Redeemed? Examining the Swirler Reach Back, right? And she also had a larger live stream where she actually reacted directly to my video. So, shout out to Shay Shardae, always showing your boy love. Shout out to you. Anyways, like I said, Shay Shardae coming from the perspective of a black woman who loves the black man, has love and appreciation for the black man, married a black man, established a household with a black man. So we're getting the perspective of a woman from her position. So that's always a good thing. Anyway, not wasting no time. Let's jump straight into it.
How are you pro-black woman, but you don't believe in procreating black women?
God damn, Shay Shardae immediately guns blazing from the beginning. Jesus Christ. Now, I think that's one of the biggest contradictions with women who have this mentality, because like she said, right? A lot of women, especially when it comes to the colorism conversation, right? They talk about the trials and tribulations of the dark-skinned woman and what the dark-skinned woman has to go through in a white supremacist society, right? But at the same time, you have no problem laying up with the white supremacist himself, right? So that's the contradiction, right? That's the contradiction. You say we live in a white supremacist society where the dark-skinned woman is marginalized due to colorism and things like that, but then you have no problem intimately engaging with the architects and the founders and the ones who created all these isms and caste systems that currently marginalize you still to this day, right? So you claim to be about, I love my black people, I love the dark-skinned girls, things like that, and talk about colorism, but at the same time, you don't even believe in reproducing the dark-skinned girl, right? You have no problem reproducing the light-skinned mulata, the light-skinned mulatresse, the light-skinned, mixed race biracial with a 3C hair, right? You have no problem reproducing that. But then you want to talk about they have all these privileges and how they're above you in the caste system. So like I said, it's a lot of backwards mentality going on and confusion in this mindset. That's why I say, brother, stay away from those women because it's a lot of confusion up there, bro. It's no organization, no structure to their mentality. Now let's continue.
Y'all notice that? Y'all notice how many pro-black woman pages promote swirling, promote black women expanding their options to non-black people, but then you want to sit here and act like you're pro-black woman? And I'm like, to me, I'm sorry, like basic pro anything 101 is believing in their existence. Like if you want black women to exist, that still requires two black people getting together.
Now, here's the thing. Now, Shay Sharday, I'm sure you've heard these sentiments as well. One thing these women tell each other to kind of, justify it in their minds, they say, well, it's different. When the biracial child has a black mother, it's different, right? So in their mind, they say if the biracial child has a white father and a black mother, then that means that the child is going to be equal to the fully black child because the black mother is going to pass down the teachings and the customs and the traditions and the history and the writings of the ancestors down to the mulatto child, right? That's what they tell each other, right? They say because the child has a black mother, they're going to be tapped into the culture, even though they have a white father, right? So in their mind, the biracial child with the white father is equivalent or superior to the fully black child with the black mother and the black father, right? That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying when obviously history does not support their sentiments, right? We can look at various societies, various continents that were established by the offspring of black women and non-African males, right? And we can see that those societies are riddled with anti-blackness, violence against the native black population, genocide against the native black population, slavery against the native black population, warfare against the native black population, and basically the caste system in these societies is set up to where you are higher up in the hierarchy based on how much non-black ancestry you have, right? So for example, you have certain areas in North Africa by the Arabian Peninsula that, the more you embrace Arab culture and Arab heritage, the higher you are in the hierarchy. The more, African ancestry you have, the more African culture that you embody, the lower you are on the hierarchy. And you see these things play out in areas like Sudan and things like that. And of course, we can look at Latin America, places like Brazil and various other Latin American countries that were set up by the offspring of black women and non-African males. And we can see that these are anti-black regions of the world, right? Riddled with anti-blackness, caste system set up to where the blacks are on the bottom and the non-blacks are at the top, right? So as you can see, this whole, idea of, the black mother and the non-black father is going to create a child that is super pro-black and super tapped into the culture, when history has shown that when you look at any places where this type of miscegenation took place, the only thing that happens is anti-blackness. You can look at Brazil, for example. Brazil is like the ultimate case study because Brazil is literally a whole society created by the mixed race offspring of black women and non-black men. And you can see Brazil is one of the most racist anti-black places on the planet. So, like I said, this sentiment does not hold true in reality, but they tell each other this to kind of justify the behavior. So where they can still be pro-black while simultaneously laying up romantically with non-black males, right? By saying that because the child has a black mother and a non-black father, the black mother is going to pass down the teachings and the customs down to the children. When in reality, if the black mother in this scenario really possess the teachings and the customs and the traditions and the knowledge to pass down, then the biracial child wouldn't even exist because she'd be with a black man. But that's the propaganda they tell each other, right? They tell each other because the mother is black, then the mulatto child is going to be tapped into the culture. Please, please, please. Anyway, let's continue.
Like, if you want black women to exist, that still requires two black people getting together. Because also these same pro-black women are going to want to sit at biracials and be like, oh, that's a biracial. She don't fit in this group. So y'all have all these standards of what really makes a woman black, right? If she's too light, if her hair is a particular way, if she's whatever, if she don't have certain features that y'all consider not black enough, she's not in the black community. So it's like, okay, fine, granted, we can accept that. But then some of these same ladies will really sit up here and be like, they need to expand their options though. So it's like, you say that you're for black women, but you don't believe in procreating black women. That don't make any sense. Like the logic is not there. That's what I'm saying. It's like, this is how you know certain things are also a propaganda, like when the math doesn't math. Like when you start to just try to look at things just from a purely logical standpoint and you're like, this actually doesn't make any sense at all.
Damn, now Shay Sharday getting deep, right? Now, keep in mind, the same exact women who, like I said before, they say if the child has a black mother, the child's going to be in tune with the culture. But the same women also ostracize biracial women, mulatto women, mixed race women, because, oh, those are light skinned women, right? Those women, you know, it's not the same as the pure blood dark skinned woman, right? They try to separate the dark skinned woman from the light skinned woman, right? But at the same time, they have no problem reproducing the light skinned woman, but they want to ostracize the light skinned woman at the same time. Say the light skinned woman, oh, she's not a real black woman, but at the same time, she wants to reproduce the fake black woman. Let's continue.
You can't be pro yourself if you don't believe that yourself should exist. If you want other dark-skinned, beautiful dark-skinned African feature, or however y'all want to say, non-Eurocentric features, then you have to get with other dark-skinned, non-Eurocentric people, men, aka black men. If y'all really like pretend to care about that. Now, if you don't, then that's fine. Okay, whatever, that's cool. But I'm like, don't try to be pro-black over here, but then want to be as assimilated in the white culture as possible over here. Like, y'all got to be consistent. And if there's one thing that I don't see about this movement, it is consistency. One of the most, at least I'll say this, they are consistently inconsistent. That is what I can say. Consistently inconsistent.
Now, consistently inconsistent. I like that term. Now, maybe I might use that term. So maybe some women won't take offense to when I say, you know, I only deal with black women who only deal with black men, right? So maybe I'll say I only deal with black women who are consistent, right? Brothers, only deal with women who are consistent, right? Avoid women who are consistently inconsistent. Maybe that's a more diplomatic or politically correct way to convey the message, right? Maybe that's a better way. But yeah, man, I just wanted to react to Shay Sharday's video. You know, currently right now your boy on vacation, but I had to come out from vacation real quick just to react to Shay Sharday video, you know, and I see she got a live stream where she also reacted directly to my other video. I got to go check that out as well. Once again, shout out to Shay Sharday. Like I said, women like Shay Sharday do not take offense to my videos. They don't take offense to my sentiments because they know I don't come with ill intent, and most likely they probably feel the exact same way as I do, right? So you can't really get mad at me when you hold the same exact beliefs. That's the problem that I have. A lot of the women that come at me in the comment section, they feel the exact same way as I do. The only problem they feel offended by what I say is because maybe they might feel excluded. They might feel, you know, singled out because they don't live what they preach, right? You're not living your raps, right? You're not living your raps. So they feel called out when we call them out for not living their raps. But when it comes to the women that are not, you know, fraudulent, that are not faking the funk, that are actually living their raps, you notice they don't have no issue with my sentiments. The women that are not living, you know, a false identity, they're not offended by what I say. They're not offended by what I say because I'm not saying anything with any ill intent. I'm not telling black men to go deal with non-black women. I'm not telling black men to date outside the race. I'm not telling black men to abandon their community. I'm telling black men to stay inside the community. I'm telling black men to deal with black women, but I'm telling black men to deal with the best available candidates possible so you can actually establish a black family on a foundation that is solid and lasting. That's what I'm saying, right? Because it's not just enough to just marry any old black woman off the street, brother. No, there has to be some requirements and actually some vetting that takes place to make sure that when you actually establish your black family, you are establishing it on a foundation that is lasting, that can actually last decades and decades, like we've seen our mothers and our fathers and our grandfathers do it, right? When I look at my parents been together for 40 years, that's because my father, he chose a black woman that was compatible with him, his lifestyle, his vision, his mission. So I tell my brothers do the exact same thing. Now, of course, some women take offense to that, but that's not my business. You got to take that up with you and God, right? I don't know what religion you are. If you Muslim, you got to go consult with Allah. If you Catholic, you got to go make your confessions. Listen, that don't got nothing to do with me. I just tell black men, listen, avoid women who, like I said, it's a lot of that going on, right? It's a lot of women of this archetype. Like I'm telling you, if you're a young black man, you're going to run into this archetype a lot. A lot of women talking that pro-black garbage. But when you dig into their history, listen, a lot of inconsistencies, like Shay Sharday said. But anyway, like I said, I'm on vacation. You know, I ain't going to be here too long, man. I might come back with another video for the day, but I got to get back to vacation, man. Your boy got to enjoy life, man. I work too damn hard to not, you know, take a break and take a day off. Now, anyways, man, it's your boy Neferkari. That's Celine back in the building. Yes, indeed. Cash App in the description. Support the Patreon. NTD1814. Link in the description. Pinned comment at the top. Support the album, Sahel 1816. Go to my homepage, go to my playlist section. Enjoy the album, and I'm gone. Peace.
Told me she loved me and said that it's real. So independent, ain't signing no deal. Feel like a king and I'm up at Cap Henry. I'm in the citadel, top of the hill. Trying to run up but we let off a cannon. Secret location, I'm keeping it sealed. You ain't retaliate, Franco Medina. Came to the country and he got killed. You ain't retaliate, Rafi Mans. Thought you was loyal, thought you was real. Didn't even want to come pick up the body. Had your man locked up, he died in the cell. Up at the palace, I'm throwing a party. Right on the south and I'm giving them hell. And my little shorty, she looking exotic. African features, she casting a spell. Run to the check like I work on my fitness. Wake up each morning and handle my business. Say that she love me, she want my genetics. Wanna get married and make it official. Wanna get married and have all my babies. Up in the city, I'm riding Mercedes. Up in the city, they treat me like royalty. Feeling like Dolph, talking about lords. Spreading my wings and I had to get fly. Up in the top, an incredible vibe. Came from the bottom, I'm up in the sky. Gave one look and said, baby, you fine. Wake up each morning and handle my business. They just be talking, you see me, I live. Ride on my enemies, sounding like thunder. 1804, got that shit in my spirit. 1804 when I step in the building. 1804, that's word of my mother. Rock my women and die for my brother. Never gonna fall when I'm deep under pressure. Tell them we back and they better accept it. Move like a king, every step is divine. Ride on my enemies with no exception. Taking revenge and I'm taking what's mine. Pour up a drink and it's time that we toast. Watching my back, keep my enemies close. Only the family, I stick with my brothers. Cannons position outside of the coast. Heavy artillery for the protection. Move like a general, stick to the code. Feel like a king when I'm up in the north. Beautiful women, they trying to get chose. Launch an invasion all over the south. Capture the capital with all my woes. Look at my energy and my demeanor. Dripping that ice and that's head to my toes. Lately I'm flexing all on the Americans. Flexing my muscle on missing my road. Just got a carriage just coming from London. Boy, that shit cash, I ain't taking no loans. Boy, that shit cash, that's fresh on the boat. Enemy know I got millions in gold. Enemy know I got choppers and cannons. How did I do it? They can't understand it. How did I do it? It's cause I'm relentless. Call me King Harry, my name is cemented. Call me King Harry, I'm up in the palace. Call me King Harry, I'm raising the status.